What does it cost to become a Hollywood legend? Fame? Privacy? Maybe even your own identity? Because the man the world adored as Rock Hudson spent most of his life hiding the truth about who he really was. Long before the name Rock Hudson appeared on movie posters, there was a quiet boy named Roy Harold Scherer Jr., born on November 17, 1925, in Winnetka, Illinois. The town was small, the kind of place where everyone noticed everything. And during the Great Depression, your life inside the Scherer home was anything but easy. Roy's father worked as an auto mechanic, struggling to keep the family afloat. Then one day, the pressure became too much. He left. For a child, that kind of disappearance leaves a mark. One day your father is there. The next day, he isn't. No explanation that makes sense to a kid. Just silence. And from that moment, Roy learned a lesson many children learn too early. Stability is fragile. At school, Roy stood out, but not in the way he wanted. He was unusually tall, and he had a noticeable stutter. Speaking in class felt like walking into a trap. Words wouldn't come out smoothly. Other kids noticed. Some laughed. So Roy did what many shy children do. He stopped talking unless he had to. Instead, he watched. He studied people. How they moved, how they spoke, how they commanded attention. And the place where he learned the most wasn't school. It was the movie theater. Sitting alone in the dark, he watched men like Cary Grant, Clark Gable, and Gary Cooper move across the screen with effortless confidence. They were admired, powerful, certain of themselves. Roy wanted that feeling. After serving briefly in the Navy during World War II, he headed west to Los Angeles. Not with a clear plan, not with acting training, but with something Hollywood always notices: presence. Tall, broad-shouldered, striking. An agent saw potential immediately. But Hollywood didn't want Roy Scherer. It wanted a symbol. So the industry reshaped him. The name Roy Scherer disappeared. In its place came Rock Hudson, a name that sounded strong, solid, unforgettable. Voice coaches helped eliminate his stutter. Acting teachers trained his posture and speech. Publicists rewrote his past. By the 1950s, the transformation worked. Films like Magnificent Obsession, 1954, All That Heaven Allows, 1955, and Giant, 1956, turned Hudson into one of the most admired leading men in the world. His role in Giant even earned him an Academy Award nomination. Women adored him, studios trusted him, magazines called him the most handsome man in Hollywood. But there was one problem. The man the public loved wasn't the whole truth. Hudson lived inside a carefully controlled image. In 1955, he married Phyllis Gates, a union many believed was arranged to quiet rumors about his private life. The marriage didn't last long. It couldn't. Because no performance, on screen or off, can erase the conflict between public image and private reality. For decades, Hudson lived two lives: the confident movie star everyone saw, and the guarded man who kept his real self hidden. Then, in the early 1980s, his health began to fail. At first, it looked like exhaustion, weight loss, fatigue. But eventually, doctors confirmed the devastating truth. He had AIDS, a disease that at the time carried enormous fear and stigma. When the news became public in 1985, it shocked the world. The symbol of Hollywood masculinity was suddenly at the center of a crisis the country barely understood. Rock Hudson died on October 2nd, 1985, at the age of 59. His funeral was quiet. No spectacle. Just a small gathering of friends, including Elizabeth Taylor, who would later become a major advocate for AIDS research because of him. And in the end, Hudson's legacy became something far deeper than movie stardom. Because the man who spent decades hiding the truth ended up forcing the world to face one of its most uncomfortable realities.